So I just finished watching Looking for Melania Trump on Amazon Prime Video, and this aired back in 2020. And I'm really baffled. Was this really supposed to be a documentary? Premise of the video teased an in-depth exploration of Melania's life, where she came from, who she is. It delivered none of that. Instead, it skirted around her life story, and it left glaring gaps and offered very little substance about who Melania Trump really is. Her background was barely addressed in this. What did her parents really do? Like, her dad was well off. Her family lived a pretty good life. What was her relationship with her other siblings? Did any of them also leave Slovenia, or was she the only one? These are the kinds of questions you'd expect from a project like this, right? But it felt like the filmmakers either didn't know or they just simply didn't care to dig deeper into her life. Now, the narrative that jumped out, talking about her modeling career, glossing over her late start at age 26. I mean, 26 is pretty late to start modeling. That's when most models are retiring. They tossed in some salacious nudies, more risque photos of her. But these are moments that felt exploitative for me. They just wanted to show her off as like, look at her. She's the dumb bimbo, arm piece candy of Donald Trump. Seemed to me like they were trying to unravel the enigma of Melania Trump, but instead they ended up highlighting how sanitized and impenetrable her image really is. She's really mysterious. She's polished and she's fiercely private to the point where it feels like she's unknowable. Then, of course, there's the famous jacket she wore, and I'll show it here. At the same time, I was appalled at how she could wear something like that. I thought it was tone deaf. I also saw it as a statement of her saying, really, I don't care about you, the public media. I remember that day, right? And I wondered about her astrology sign. I said, I wonder what she is, because she seems like a Taurus. And sure enough, she turns out to be a Taurus. And if you know anything about Tauruses, you know they are masters at curating an image. They keep their lives private and appear sometimes indifferent to other people's opinions. But really deep down inside, they do care. They care a lot. They care immensely about how they're perceived. They're relentless in maintaining a pristine, sanitized image. Oh, and reputation. And when people disappoint them, forgiveness is it's not in their nature. So Melania's relationship with Donald Trump, it does feel like a very calculated performance, right? Her husband, a classic Gemini. He thrives on attention, chaos, and dragging her back into the spotlight despite her desire to live quietly as a wealthy recluse. But I see Melania going forward now actually embracing this role as the White House FLOTUS, or First Lady of America. Just look at this clip.
Thank you for coming and helping me to harvest and plant the vegetables in that beautiful garden. Continue and eat a lot of vegetable honey from the White House, so from the hive, so you could enjoy with your family, and I hope you like it.
As you saw in that clip, she's there talking about gardening and really getting on with the people. This is not something that I think she thought in the first term was her cup of tea, but I think she's really embraced that this turn around. She's deciding that she's going to go out there to show that there's no rift in her relationship with Trump. I can't imagine there being one. She's worked so hard to perfect her icy, untouchable persona, but he does tend to pull her back into the life of chaos with him. And I think this time she realizes she could be more beneficial if she actually shows up and does her Melania-esque thing, instead of saying, I don't give a F about the Christmas, as we heard in that undercover recording of her.
Gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration, but I need to do it, right? And then I do it, and I say that I'm working on Christmas, planning for the Christmas. And they said, oh, what about the children? They were separated. Give me a break.
I think this time around, she's going to really embrace being the First Lady. But back onto the subject of the documentary. Ultimately, this documentary on Netflix didn't uncover who Melania Trump truly is. What it did is it scratched the surface and played with tropes of her as the silent trophy wife. As I said, the girl the arm candy for Donald Trump. If anything, it left me more convinced that Melania remains an enigma by design, a product of her own relentless control over her public image and narrative. And Amazon Prime Video is set to release a new documentary about Melania Trump. The documentary is going to be directed by Brett Ratner. The film promises an unprecedented look behind the scenes at the former and future First Lady. I'm curious to see if she's actually going to open up and talk more about her life growing up in Slovenia. I would have loved to hear her even talk in this documentary. I mean, really, there was not even really her on screen talking about what it was like. I think many of us are curious to know how she feels about this position, becoming the First Lady of America. And she's not even born here in this country, but now she's got this killer role as being the First Lady. I think it's going to be one of those things where they're just going to focus on her Be Best initiative. And I don't really think they're going to dive into her life of who she is. I think she's going to forever be the most private First Lady we've ever known. You guys tell me what you think. Have a great day. Think for yourself.